Breezy. Hey everybody, it is Matt here at Pumpkin Ridge. It is loud. It is Saturday, July 11th, I believe is the date. And it is another gorgeous day. It's a bit breezy, but it's just really lovely. It's warm, breezy. It has been a really nice stretch of good weather here in Maine. We've had, last week we had some really hot days, like 95, 96. Today I think it's gonna be in the high 70s and just lovely and a little breezy and sunny. And so things are been going pretty good. We've had a really good stretch of good weather, like I said. We had some rain yesterday. We got almost 2 inches of rain. Here we've got my my cart that I used to haul the chicken feed and stuff out, and we definitely got some rain. But I'm out here by the coop and I'm going to let everybody out today because we're home doing chores around the house, and I'm gonna let everyone out to free range. It really does save me on my feed bill if I can let these birds out to forage, especially the geese will just mow the grass down, and the ducks and stuff go off in the field and eat the bugs, and the guineas wander, and the guineas are all out. I don't know how they got out. Okay. If you look beyond, they are already out of the pen, so that isn't great. Well, I don't know how they got out. Maybe the fence fell down on the other side, or they just flew over because they can totally fly. But we're gonna let the rest of them out. So this week we've got a lot going on, pretty good video. Darren's been working hard in the garage, cleaning, fixing the floor, organizing. I've been doing a lot of work in the garden. I will show you some garden stuff. And we have had some exciting new babies born here on the farm. So we alluded to what was in the incubator a couple weeks ago. So today you will find out what we had in the incubator and what has hatched in the incubator. But let's get busy and let these critters out. And then we'll check on those guineas and make sure. Did I put the fence back on? I did not even put the fence back on when I came out earlier, so that might be why we have escapees. I do not know. But we're just gonna open up the electric fence. And I just kind of put it out of the way here because some of these dumb birds get stuck in it if I don't. All right, kiddos, you're free. And I need to refill their water already. But they have some water out here that looks a little raggedy. We're gonna dump this out. This is from the rain. And we will give them some fresh water. And my guineas are screaming. I'm surprised they are not all running out here. It's a lot earlier than I usually let them free range, so it's only about 10 in the morning. I usually wait till the afternoon, so they might just kind of be like, what's going on? Do. We're gonna go peek at these guinea fowl and see what they're screeching about over here. Friends! They might have just flown over. Oh, I think I see where they got out, actually. Babies, what are we doing? Who knows? It could be anything that makes them scream. Literally anything makes them scream. I think they might have all got out over here because everyone's been dust bathing here, and I don't know though. They could have got out underneath there. Or honestly, like I said, they might have just flew right over the fence. But I do have to fill, oh, here we go, everyone's out. I turned around and everyone came out the door. Except, so this one goose is really, I don't know what her problem is. She can never seem to figure out how to get out of here. And watch, I'll try to herd her out. Let's go. Maybe she'll go out. She often acts really afraid to go through. No, go through. See, she won't go through the space. I don't know what it is, like a psychological barrier. There she goes. Once she gets out, she's fine. But she will often be in there like totally confused about how to get out. So I mowed, we had the mower out this week. We mowed a lot, and I've mowed this area down. Just mostly for me when I come out here. I don't want the chance of ticks getting on me. And also the geese really prefer short grass to forage. Although right now they're all off in the weeds. Hey babies. So yeah, so they'll spend the day just kind of wandering around out here, enjoying. We've been pretty lucky with predators last few weeks. I have not seen the fox. The only thing we've had to deal with lately is a bunch of skunks at night. And I've been catching them on the security camera. Even in the afternoon, I had a mama and a baby out here at like 4:15 in the afternoon. We weren't home, but it picked it up on the security camera. But every night I've seen a few skunks out here wandering around. So one night one sprayed and we had our bedroom fan on and the whole bedroom filled with skunk. It was really unpleasant. But I'm not too worried about skunks bothering the birds. It's the fox I worry about mostly. But we're gonna let them do their thing. And we're gonna get on with our day. So come and see what we've been up to. I'm gonna check on our little piggy friends here, and I need to fill their water. They spilled it. But if you can see, they have really been working this field in. Tilling it in. What do you think, ma'am? You liking your new spot? Oh, the last of your water is spilled. All right, we'll take care of that. I don't know where your sister is, probably up in the shade. So they really have worked in the sod, turned it over, but there's still lots of areas they have yet to dig up. Huh, what do you think? You like this spot? You're such a nice girl. Oh, you got a little fly on your ear. Let me get that off. Oh. Huh? All right, let's go check on my garden. Woo. All right, I am out here in my vegetable garden, and I've been really working hard in here this week, getting a lot done. And I'm gonna give you a little tour of what's happening. We'll start down this end. And I had filmed a little earlier in the week. I have mulched this all in, so I'll show you what that process was. Hey everyone, I am out here in the garden. Whee! Look at my beautiful garden. I've been doing a lot of work in this garden the last couple weeks. We'll address all that, but first I want to show you what I'm doing on this end. So on this end of the garden is my row of cosmos that I seeded, which is really coming up pretty nicely. I hope in a couple weeks we'll have it nice and tall and start to flower. But under this spot here, I'm laying down a layer of cardboard. So we have all these weeds and it's just a mess under here. And the soil is pretty clay and it's pretty hard. And trying to pull the weeds, they don't really come out. And digging them up is just a pain. And I realized I had all this old cardboard that I've been saving just for this purpose. These were boxes that were in the basement and they got damp, so we had to take all the stuff out of them and they're kind of mildewed. And I just threw them in the back of the garage. And so what we're gonna do is we are going to cover up this whole weedy patch with a nice layer of cardboard. And then I'm gonna take the wood chips from the chicken coop that I have been piling up in the chicken yard. And I'm going to cover this cardboard in a thick layer of manure-filled wood chips. And we're just gonna let that sit for a year and just let it suppress these weeds. Excuse me, it'll make a nice, mulchy layer. It'll keep the weeds down and we'll have a nice area. I could maybe put some pots, or I have a couple more planter bags I need to fill with soil that I might put in this area. But we're just gonna cover up this whole weedy, messy mess with all the cardboard, layer of shavings, and just let it sit and kill off those weeds. So that is my plan for this morning. Alrighty. We are covering this cardboard up. I've already done, I think 12 buckets, 12 5-gallon buckets of wood shavings from the chicken yard, and we're covering up the cardboard. All right, I finished covering the cardboard. It took 21 buckets, 5-gallon buckets of the old shavings from the coop that I had piled up, and I have covered all of the cardboard. I think I might water it in just to make sure it the cardboard kind of sticks down to the ground, but it's looking much better. I want to get some more buckets and fill in some around those pumpkins a little bit, and then I want to put some more on this side of the potatoes because there's all weeds coming up in there. But I'm definitely happy with how this looks compared to what it was this morning. Very good. But yeah, so garden tour, July 11th, 2026. We have my row of cosmos really filling in this, especially this end. This was like a manure pile from the pig pen, and these ones are really getting big. So they get a little smaller as they go up this way, but they're still doing well. So we've got all these cosmos, which will be really beautiful. We've got some borage, another cosmos. These are Mexican sunflowers, or Tithonia, which will get pretty tall and really beautiful orange sunflowery flowers. We've got some comfrey that I had in a pot since last year, so I just popped it in here. And that is a perennial, and it sends a nice, really deep taproot down and brings up a lot of minerals and things from the ground. And then you can use the leaves, chop them, soak them in water, and make a fertilizer tea out of them. So we'll let that grow and get really big before we worry about that. I've got a little patch here of sugar pumpkins. This one is doing really well. This one, I had one here, but it got eaten by slugs, and so I replaced it with another one. Now, these were all planted in the 6-pack at the same time, but this one was in the 6-pack for like a week longer than these ones were, so it's a little bit stunted or behind schedule with them. But this one's really big. And then we have some like little volunteer tomatoes popping up that must have just come from me feeding tomatoes to the pigs. So we'll see what those are all about. And then this bed is all tomatoes. So these are just some red slicers that I got to fill in because I had 2 spaces. I didn't have any more tomatoes. So I just bought these I think I got them at Walmart. Don't really know the exact type. These ones are all ones I grew from seed, and I completely forget what kind they are, but they're a big pink giant tomato. So these should be big slicing tomatoes as well. And I'm going to eventually put in some T-posts on the end of this bed and then put some strings across to hold up the tomatoes. Here's a row of green beans, bush beans there. We've got another little tomato here that I grew from seed. It's a little stunted because it's in a pot, but it's doing okay. This is a zucchini. I think it's a gray zucchini. I've got one here. I had 2, but the slugs ate one. So we've got this one in the ground, And then I have a couple more in pots over there. I'll show you after. I filled in this whole bed this week, and we've got some purple bush beans here, which are coming up really nicely. I overplanted it just in case some didn't come up. These are some Hubbard squash. I believe that's what I've got. What do we see? Yeah, large blue Hubbards that I just bought last minute, already grown. I think we'll have enough time to get something out of them since they're already, flowering and fairly big. But I needed something to fill in. We've got some summer squashes in here. I've got white patty pan, and I've got yellow summer squash, and I don't remember which is which. I did not label them. It doesn't really matter. I should have enough time to get squash. These are summer squash, so you can harvest them, really when they're really young. So these should be fine. And these on the end are some sweet potato squash that I started from seed weeks and weeks ago and put in here. I've never grown this type of squash. I don't even know if it's a viner or a bush type. Don't know. We'll just see what it does. If it is a vine, it can grow. I have this whole area free, so it can grow. This whole row is marigolds and zinnias, which they're growing. You can see I got some little marigolds here coming up, and I reseeded with more marigolds. And then here we have a couple of zinnias. Now this soil was pretty hard packed, so they're not doing fantastic, but we'll see how they do. We've got this is a slender mountain mint that I popped in there. I had it in a pot. And I just put things like that in here for the pollination, for the pollinators. It will attract lots of pollinators. I've got a little row of sunflowers that are looking pretty good. Another clump of sunflowers that are doing really well. They're nice and big, and some borage in the back, so that should fill in nicely there. And this is my potatoes. So I have red bliss on this side and Yukon Gold on this side. And this was a little experiment. When I bought them, they were so shriveled from Tractor Supply, and they were like 75% off. And they have taken off, so I've just been kind of piling up more compost on top of them as they grow. My chickens did get in this garden last night, so we came home. We went into town for dinner last night, and when I came home, there were 2 chickens in here, and they had dug up some of my potatoes. They dug up the mulch basically, and they dug up from some spots in the rest of the garden. I was not happy. They're going in the soup if they continue to come in my garden. Let's see, what else do I have over here? I've got a couple more green beans on this end I popped in there, more bush beans, and I have some rando pumpkins coming up that I just had a ton of seeds from last year, so I popped a few here and there. So we'll see what they do. Now, some of these are things I planted, and some of these are just squashes that came up from the pig pen. So I don't know what's what anymore. But I do have these lovely plants growing all in here, nice and big. And then I planted some Dutch fork pie pumpkins in here too. There's a couple of those. I think that's one. But I'm not sure now what's a pumpkin and what's a butternut. We'll figure it out. And on this corner, I have a birdhouse gourd growing here, and I kind of wanted it to grow that way over the fence, so we're gonna have to turn that vine. You can see how the vine is coming this way. I kind of want to turn that a different direction. Oh, and I have some nasturtiums coming up from seed I popped in there too. Oh. We have a row of sugar snap peas that are doing okay. The soil was a little compacted too, so I fertilized them with some manure tea I made, and they're actually doing much better. They were a little yellowed, and now they're looking greener. So we'll see how that goes, and a ton of cilantro coming up all here on the ground. Lots of cilantro. I did a whole row here. More borage there. Like this one's here. Look how big that is. So this spot of soil is nice, but down here, these have been in the ground even longer, and they're just lingering, because I think this is a lot of, in the winter I had put the pelletized horse bedding there to soak up the mud from the pigs, and I just think that it is sucking all the nitrogen out of the soil. So those ones aren't doing as well. But I fertilized them, we'll see if they pop up. In this little cluster of pots, I have some more sugar snap peas, which are actually producing a lot of peas. I've been munching on them all morning. So these are doing pretty good. We've got hot pepper here, which kind is this? Thai dragon, hot pepper. We'll see, add a little spice to our lives. Here's a little pepper. Couple little eggplants here that are lingering. I've added some manure to the top. Hopefully these will perk up because the ones I have in another bed are much bigger. We've got some Thai basil, some Italian basil, some cilantro that's looking really sad. These pots all need a refresher, I guess. Some more beans. Strawberries my brother gave me are doing okay. They're still growing. Some anise and some more peppers and things. Some sad little lettuce, which it doesn't look so good. Got a couple more zucchinis here. These are the gray zucchinis with some nasturtiums coming up in between them. And we've got 2 beds of cucumbers, which are doing okay. They're growing. Oh, this one's starting to really take off here. Just this week. This nice hot weather and the rain really has got things growing. I have some purple bell peppers. These ones are doing okay. And look at these eggplants are so much bigger than the others. And they went in here at the same time. But the soil in these pots is just better quality soil. And they're just doing much better here. This thing of tomatoes, my first pot of tomatoes here. And they're doing fantastic. My only fear is that they're a little clumped together and it might get a little crazy. This other bed here, they're much more spread out. I think they're going to be more successful in the long run. But I've got 6, 7 different kinds of tomatoes in here. So we'll see how that does. And some herbs. So I have some more Thai basil, which is doing really well. This is actually a thornless blackberry that we've been trying to grow since last year. Finally, it's starting to do something. And we have some lemon balm and some thyme and some oregano and some more thyme and some mint and some other things there. So, as I'm knocking over a pot with my foot. Yeah, so that is the vegetable garden for mid-July here. And we'll check in again in a couple weeks and see how it's growing, but it's doing pretty good. Oh, one last thing is my sunchokes that I planted early in the year are doing fantastic. They are huge and luscious. And these are the different variety that my brother brought me that were pretty sad when he brought them. They were very wilted, but they are perking right up and they're doing okay. We're gonna get these ones in the ground somewhere out by the road. And these ones I'm gonna keep in a pot. So that is my garden update. On with the day.
Hey everyone, so I am in the garage, as you can see, where I have spent the better part of the past week or two because I got sunburned when I was out on the tractor and it was really, really hot and just I needed to avoid the sun for a while. So I've been hiding in here and doing some organizing, which is vital. So the first thing I needed to do was to work on the floor. So I'm going to show you here, down here on the floor, we got 100 years worth of accumulation of just debris mixed in with the sand. Was just so much organic material, leaves and wood and just stuff that needed to be sifted out, old screws and trash and everything else. So I've brought maybe 4 bucket loads of this surface out. I brought it out here and I sifted it through this handy sifter, and now it's in these bags. I didn't bother to film the process because it wasn't very exciting. And I also wanted to just knock down, you can see the sill back here is half rotted, and the level of the dirt was like up to here. So I needed to knock it down to at least the bottom of the sill. And I also found in this area, you can see here, there are just giant boulders everywhere on this floor. You can see here, now this building has obvious issues. The whole sill on this side has sunk in the middle. So we need to have all of that fixed. But in the meantime, I needed to be able to work in here. So I've kind of leveled the floor out as best I can. You can see outside here the pile of boulders. It's a huge pile, it's probably a ton or more. And most of that was just in this area here. So I didn't remove anything structural from the edges. I left everything. I think with frost heaves over time, a lot of the rocks that it was sitting on have shifted anyway. So like I said, we're going to have this whole thing jacked up and this concrete removed and just have a whole slab put in. But I need to function. So what I'm doing is gathering every box, debris, all the stuff that we've gathered over the years, just random boxes, and I'm putting it onto this workbench and sorting. Now this reminds me of my first grade desk that was so messy, and I've never been able to have a clean desk since. At work, I thankfully don't have a desk now, but this is my desk, and I think Matt hates me for it. I did make a promise to him that this would not resemble our last house, and until now it has resembled it. But here we are. I have created a couple of hanging tool holders. So this is a French cleat system. I've been watching French cleat systems online. I won't give any credit to any of the ones that I've watched because, as you can see, these are highly unskilled and not worth sharing. But I will show you some footage of what they look like. And they're so simple. And it just gets these tools off. I'm going to add a few more down below and maybe a couple other storage things just to get this stuff off the surface here. I have created these other shelves. There's earlier videos of me doing that. And what I'm doing is basically accumulating everything that's like together. So all of these different things have been stored in different places in boxes, and I'm just distilling it all. So it's the first time we've had all the hammers in one place in one time and that sort of thing. I found a whole box of tools I didn't realize I had, so these replace now the other ones. I put the old ones up here since it's an incomplete set. And someone I saw online basically said that you shouldn't keep these boxes because you want your tool accessible and the box just becomes extra. So I've gone and decided what I can do with some of these. This box had a chainsaw in it, but there's no need for it to be in the box. So I realized that I don't use my jigsaw very often. So that's a great place to store that. And these multi-tools, until I have a better place for them, they can fit in here too. So that gets 3 tools off the tool bench and stored somewhere. So making progress. Oh, and I also have distilled everything into, this is my bucket of painting supplies, my bucket of plastering supplies, my big collection of just random plumbing stuff, my collection of electrical stuff. Not that I do a lot of electrical work, but basically finding ways to store all this stuff properly. Oh, and I put this on a shelf that I couldn't remove. The previous owners built this shelf structure, and I was literally unable to remove it. And I will show you why I was unable to remove it. It's because we're looking at construction like this. Now this particular one has nails. Most of them have screws. And the screws have little tiny heads that have gone under the surface of the wood. So it's very difficult to remove, and I figured instead of fight with it, I would just use it to hold this for now, and it gives me a place that doesn't occupy the floor, and I've got my table saw, so at least now I have somewhere to work and somewhere to continue this sorting process. And hopefully, by the end of the day, I will have this sorted and cleaned up. Fingers crossed. All right, so here are my French cleat hanging storage systems. This is to hang the cordless drills, and this one is to hang the circular saw. As you can see, the construction is pretty simple. I don't know what that arrow is for. Just a simple French cleat. I was looking at that earlier. I might want to tighten that one. Anyway, it works. It holds it up, so it goes right here. Sits there. And one thing I want to do is I want to add just maybe a little bit of a bumper. There we go. Is that on? Yeah. A little bit of bumper maybe to here to keep this up a little bit, because you can see it's like not 100% stable. But if it were tilted up just a little bit, it might be more stable. So I'm going to put like a little piece of wood right in there. And then this one, so easy. I didn't make any special cuts. Just took strapping, 3 screws each. I made that one in the back a little bit long because I thought it might not catch right. And I misjudged. I made this distance a 2x4, but then I used, maybe it was a different 2x4 to space. So you can see it doesn't quite fit, but it works really well like that. So it has its own bump out. But as you can see, well, that's not made for that one. I think that was this one. And then this one. And then this one. So, really easy. I didn't have any plans. I barely did any measurements. I just kind of took the concept and made it out of scrap wood. It doesn't have to be pretty. I just had to get the things off my workbench. So, there we go. All right, it's done. So now I have this whole surface cleaned off. And the next step is going to be figuring out what to do with things like all of my bits and all these bits and my, whatever the heck these things are called, and my drill bits and all those things. I do have a box here of tools, and most of them are tools that I don't use very often. And up here, I tried to extract any tools that I don't use very often. But the goal is to figure out which tools I need to keep up here and then reorganize them so that things are in a more logical place. Maybe I'll figure out how to have the chisels all in one place and all the screwdrivers in one place and all the pliers, and just have it sorted out in a more logical way. So that will be the next goal. And as you can see, I did some more cleaning over here, this whole area. I have to get the tractor back in here, so I'm cleaning this up. Yeah, so very happy with this progress. It's not my dream garage, but it's my dream garage of the future.
All right, everybody, I am up here by my incubator, and a couple weeks ago somebody had slipped the information that I was incubating some eggs. And the story is, about a month ago, when we had the fox attack and we lost, it attacked like 4 or 5 ducks, we lost one. I kind of panicked, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to secure the coop. With my electric fence wasn't working. And I was afraid I was going to lose all my ducks. So I, in an emergency, gathered up a bunch of duck eggs and I put them in the incubator. And we have had so far, a successful hatch. And I don't know how many have hatched, but they're way too crowded in here. And I still have some that need to hatch. So what I'm going to do is open up the incubator and take out the little babies. And they are Indian runner ducks, and I have multiple colors of adult runner ducks, and these eggs are hatching, and I can't really tell exactly what color they are, but they're all very dark. So they might be blacks, some might have some chocolate or blue, but no light colored ones yet, but we're going to see. So I'm going to hand this camera over to Darren, and I have a cardboard box here. I don't think they can jump out of that. Right. I'm going to open up the top, and I'm going to, as quickly as I can, try to... Let's see if I can pop the box. Maybe I'll...
No?
Yeah, if I can fit it there, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it.
I can hold it.
If I just scooch that over, it might. Okay. That should work. So I'm going to pop the cover off, and as fast as I can, I'm going to try to scoop up these babies without having them fall out of the incubator. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this might be danger. Oh my god. Okay, let's hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 13 hatched so far out of 21 eggs. So I started with 20. This one's hatching, actively hatching. Oh, you're almost out. Okay, we gotta do this quick here. This one's not doing anything. We're gonna take out these hatched shells here so I know what I have going on. Oop, oop. Okay. So out of the 22 eggs I put in the incubator, 21 were fertile. And right now we have... What'd I say, 13?
Yeah.
13 babies. This one's doing nothing. This one's doing nothing. 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 And this one's literally almost out of the shell. So we're going to cover that up real quick. And hopefully I didn't mess that up. Oh my gosh, look at them. We got 13, and we do have some variety of colors here. Now, there is a chance that some of these could be not purebred runners. Generally, my Indian runner drakes mate with the Indian runner hens, and the Indian runner hens are too fast for my Harlequin drakes. So I've not actually witnessed ever the Harlequins mating the Indian runner ducks, but some of these could potentially be a Harlequin runner duck crosses. Like this one here looks a little different. So we'll see what we get. But now we're going to move them over to the brooder. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And as always, I take them and I dip their little beak in the water just to make sure they know that there's water there. And boop, 2, boop, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you're so cute. Look at that. Look at that little baby. 7, These ones might be blues. 8. Yeah, this one? Oh no, the shape of its head is a little different.
Ooh, that one's got it. That's falling over. Its head was cockeyed.
11.
Is that one okay?
We'll see. 12.
Maybe it's really tired.
Ooh, they're dusty. And 13. You okay? Yeah, it seems fine, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it has any splayed leg or anything. Woo! Little bits of fluff coming off. There you go. All right, there you have it.
Nice.
So far 13 and possibly 14 on the way. And I don't know about the ones that haven't started pipping yet.
What was their total?
The total eggs was 21. I started with 22. One was not fertile. And then the 21 were doing great. And now we have 13 successful hatches, 1 almost out. And the rest are unknowns. We'll leave them in there for another day or so and see what happens.
Excellent.
Yay. All right, we are checking on these ducklings. It has been about 4 days since they have hatched, and we ended up with 14. So that one last egg totally hatched like half an hour after I took the other ducklings out. The other 7 eggs were duds. They never pipped, so they went out to the crows. I gave them a couple more days in the incubator, but nothing. There was no sign of life. So they did not make it, but we have 14 little babes, and let's check on them. They are feisty little nuggets, and they love to jump up on top of the brooder plate, but we're gonna lift it up and check on everybody. Hey, kiddos. So I'm noticing this one is having a little trouble with the leg. This little one here. What's up, little one? It's not like a badly splayed leg, but it's got a little bit of a bend to it. I don't like that. So what I might have to do is tape up this leg. I should have done this a few days ago. But the rest of them are standing tall. Like, it can walk, but it's definitely having an issue. If you look, we've got lots of black. So this is definitely a black. And then we have some, this one I think is a blue. I might have some chocolates. Maybe this one's a chocolate. No, maybe this one's a black. It's hard to tell. The colors are very similar when they're babies. Oh, they're all hiding in the corner. So, yep, we've got 14 little runner ducks. And I do think their majority of them will be black or blue, maybe a couple chocolates too. But this little one's worrying me a little bit. It's a little smaller than the rest, and its leg is just a little bit not quite right. So I might try to tape that. But we're gonna put the brooder back in to keep them cozy, and then I'm gonna go figure out what to do with the little leg on that little baby. All right, I've taped up the leg so both feet are underneath the body, and this leg can't splay out. We're gonna try it. It's a little messy, but it really was not having it when I was trying to put it on. We'll see. We'll leave this on and see if this helps. I should have done this a few days ago, but I didn't really realize how bad it was. There you go. And we will see if that helps. Now, it might also have other issues because it's definitely smaller than the other ducklings. And it was from the beginning a little small. So we will see. You know, when you hatch a lot of babies, sometimes they're born with things going wrong that we don't know about. Could be something internal, could be who knows what. So we'll give our best shot and see if it improves.
All right, what do you think? I've got everything organized on the pegboard. So I'm very happy with it. Now we can find things. Oh, and look at this. So I find this hammer, and I was going to hang it up here, and I was working on it. And then I thought, what is that strange thing down here? And it's not like it could have a exchanging hammerhead. Hold on, let me get it open. Check this out. Inside this hammer, it's like one of those Russian nesting dolls. Look, there's a screwdriver, and not just one. There's another screwdriver inside the hammer. I thought that was pretty crazy. Anyway, yoo-hoo, look at this. Very happy. Got some tools stored. Made a little bit more progress over here. Hung a few more things. Filled up every drawer here. And I only have this last bucket. So someday when I'm feeling particularly OCD, I will go through that bucket and sort it out, and eventually sort out all these drawers as well. So there we go. I thought I heard Matt. Oh, I did hear Matt. So I'm in here recording, and I get a little treat, a visit from Matt, and an extra treat. Yummy blueberries.
Yummy! I already ate a lot.
Thanks, Matt. All right, I'm gonna eat some more.
Here, eat them.